Hey everyone, this is a quick CVS2 Subsystem Mechanics video. I'm just going to be going through each of the subsystem mechanics. There's 7 of them in total that belong to each of the grooves. Every groove has some number of them, and I'm just going to go through them all. So first up is a pair of subsystem mechanics. So these two are for when you get knocked down. They're called tactical recovery and safe fall. Whenever you fall down, you have the option of pressing 3 punches, and depending on the groove you're in, you'll get one of these two. So first off, I'm going to go through safe fall. Safe fall is obviously done by pressing the 3 punches when you hit the ground. It's in A, N, and K grooves. What happens is you flip back a little bit, and it's 28 frames long in total, the last 11 of which are fully punishable or fully vulnerable. So be careful when you use this. You can get punished. I'll show you what it looks like if you get punished. Some characters can punish it easily mid-screen, like Kyo can. So here's what it looks like. So as you notice, I was holding down back the whole time. Let me just shrink on the other side. So this is the mid-screen punish. And you do that little tech bonus thing. So when you do it normally, actually let me just do it like this. You flip back and you get up pretty quickly. It's mostly, it buys you some space, especially mid-screen. That's why it's difficult to punish in mid-screen. But if you're in the corner, it's very easily punishable by everybody. So just be careful when you're using this. Also know what your character, how your character punishes this skill, if they can at all. And know, notice when your opponent isn't punishing you for using it. So in A, N, and K grooves has safe fall. Next up is tactical recovery. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Tactical recovery is a way to screw with your opponent's Oki. So both modes can screw with your opponent's Oki, but when I knock KO down here, he just flips up like this. Gets up pretty normally, right? If I switch tactical recovery on, you'll notice he gets these little like shadows, these little silhouettes. That's basically what tactical recovery is. All it does is add 15 frames in your recovery. So unlike safe fall, you don't get up faster, you actually get up slower. Safe fall is unfortunately is punishable, so you have to be a little bit carefuler with it, but it does more things if it's used properly, because you can get up and back into neutral faster, you can buy yourself some space, you can also screw with your opponent's Oki, so it kind of does what tactical recovery is trying to do in a different way. But those are your options. So tactical recovery is in C, P, and S grooves. So those are your knockdown options. Next up are the dash versus run. The SNK grooves have run. Run looks like this. For Ryu anyway. Characters have different run speeds. Run can be maintained by holding down forward instead of just forward, but it's done by tapping forward. Run has a startup of 4 frames and a recovery of 14. But run can be canceled at any point in time into a special normal, super, jump, or roll. So it doesn't really matter. You can get caught doing the skid, which is bad. So and that is fully punishable. And this is, but it's a good rushdown mechanic. You'll see a lot of people apply pressure with jabs, like running jabs and stuff, because jabs are pretty plus in this game, at least for the Shotos they are. But most characters have plus on their light normals. So very good rushdown mechanic. It's in the SN and K grooves. The other mechanic is dash. Dash is in the CAP grooves. And that is also done by... Backdash doesn't count, by the way, so backdash is in every groove. But the CAP grooves have forward dash. Every dash has a different speed, different distance covered, and also it has a different height. So some dashes don't leave the ground like Kyo's does, so Kyo's he kind of hops up when he moves forward. Importantly, though, let me do it one more time. All dashes, no matter if they actually leave the ground or not, are considered airborne. So that means that if you try and do a combo, they actually flip out like you anti-aired them. If you anti-air somebody with a normal, they kind of like flip out, go invulnerable until they're fully recovered, and then it's like a reversal state. So you can't do like a combo, like low hard punch fireball or whatever you want. Finally, because dashes have a vertical. Some dashes have a vertical jump. You can jump over downed opponents, and you can also jump over ground fireballs in some cases. All this information is in the Bucktooth document, so take a look at that when you have a chance, because it'll tell you which characters can jump over grounded fireballs or downed opponents. Next up is roll. Roll is probably one of the strongest subsystem mechanics in the game. So it's done by pressing your light punch and light kick at the same time. I'm going to do Kyo's roll as well, just so you can see what that looks like. His looks a little bit different. They travel different distances, and they have different recovery. So a couple things about roll. First up, roll is punishable by throw at all times, no matter what. So it doesn't matter if they're in the beginning or the end of the roll. They can be punished with a throw. The first 27 frames of the roll are otherwise punishable, but the end of the roll are otherwise invulnerable. The end of the roll is punishable. There's a series of frames of recovery at the end of it that you can actually hit. Usually, so most characters have a period of upper body invincibility only, and lower body vulnerability. And then after that, they have a period of full body recovery. Some characters skip that split frame data period and go straight into full body recovery. Frame data on rolls is all in the document, and roll recoveries range from like low double digits all the way down to 2 frames of roll recovery. So know what characters you're trying to punish, because some characters are very difficult to punish. But so you may want to just resort to throwing, especially on the internet. So if you're playing online, it's a lot easier to throw a roll than it is to do anything else. But you can, once you get a little bit more experience, it's better to punish with normals into a full combo because it does more damage. Lastly, rolling means you can roll cancel. Roll canceling is something I'm going to go into another video. I just wanted to cover rolls here for now. But the basics of that is you can cancel a roll in the first 3 frames into a special. The specials can be thrown just like rolls can, unless the special is otherwise airborne. So that's roll. Next up is low jump. So low jump is has some pretty interesting implications. It's basically a really quick overhead that you can do in P SNK grooves. So it looks like this. It's a little tap on the tap up on the joystick to execute this. You can also do up down. Some people find that a little bit more helpful for executing a low jump. Notably, jump startup in low jump grooves is 6 frames. Jump startup in non-low jump grooves is 2 frames. Recovery from a jumping normal, so if you do a jumping normal, it doesn't matter what groove you're in, you get 2 frames of recovery when you land. On a low jump, though, you get 8 frames of recovery. Those frames can be canceled into specials or supers. So what that means in terms of the game or gameplay is that when you do a jump and attack, a lot of times those are like your big punishes. You'll do like a jumping hard normal into, low forward fireball or whatever you want. Something like that, right? If you do a low jump, you can't actually get that low forward to link. It's basically impossible. Unless you do like a super meaty jump and you're doing your most amount of hits done normal on the jump in and like your fastest normal when you land, it's very difficult to combo. So what a lot of people do is they'll just do like low jump into like uppercut or something to get a combo like that. So if you jump over a normal with a low jump, you'll want to convert directly into special or super, kind of depending. So that's pretty much it. This is in P SNK grooves. It's a really good aggressive mechanic. It's hard to get around. It's hard to play around because low jumps happen so fast. What you kind of want to do is pay attention to the ranges at which your opponent is playing. If they're playing in a range where they might low jump on you, then maybe you want to either proactively zone it or look for it to try and anti-air it. You can anti-air it. It's possible, especially if you're looking for it, but it can be very difficult. So yeah, that's low jump. Finally, we got counterattack. So counterattack is a very, very important mechanic in this game because of A groove. Let's first talk about what it does. Whenever you block an attack, you can press forward plus the mediums to get this little counterattack motion. As you'll notice, it does 600 damage, and it takes one of my end groove meters, one of my end groove pips at the bottom. It also takes a huge chunk out of my own guard bar. Notably, you can't kill with this mechanic, and you can't guard break yourself. So it's really good, but it's really good for getting out of pressure, which leads to A groove. So if A groove is activated on you with custom combo mode, they might try and mix you up or chip you to death. You'll use, it's worth spending the meter in that case to do a counterattack like this. It's also good if you're in a bad situation in the corner. Maybe K-Groove is raged against you for some reason, and they almost have your guard broken. And if they get like one more block string in, they're going to break your guard. So maybe you want to do it there, or maybe you're about to be stunned because you've been hit too many times in a row, and you need to get out of a spot like that. So this is available in all the grooves that can build a level 1 meter. So for N groove, it costs obviously one of those little pips, one of the red pips. In C groove, it costs a third of that full bar down at the bottom. A groove, it costs half the meter. There's a line in the middle of A groove that tells you when a level 1 super or a counterattack is built. And then in S groove, it requires a full bottom meter. It doesn't account for red life modes. So that's it for the subsystem mechanics. I'm going to be doing a full groove walkthrough, so thanks for watching.